Hey everybody, welcome to Creation Station. Today we're going to be drawing a cute robot from Christopher Hart's humongous book of cartooning. Are you ready? Let's get creative! Alright, today we're going to be drawing with an iPad, but if you want you can use paper, and we're going to sketch with a lighter color, and then we're going to ink over it with a Sharpie or a black pen or a black pencil. Now the first thing we're going to do, if you're in the iPad, is we're going to select a light color and a new layer and the pencil. We're going to use a pencil, HB pencil, mechanical, technical pencil, whatever you're familiar with. Now for the head, we're essentially going to draw two circles that are the same size, one above and one below. Then we're going to connect them with two vertical lines. And then, so it's essentially an egg shape where it's two circles connected by a rectangle. We're just not going to draw the top and bottom of the rectangle. And the good thing about sketching is you can sketch and correct the lines as much as you want until you get it just right, because when we go over it with the black outline, we'll be erasing the sketch lines afterwards. Now next we're going to draw the neck, which is kind of a triangle shape, except it doesn't come to a point at the top, and then we're not going to draw the bottom. So almost two parallel lines, but they taper a little at the top. And then for the neck, we're going to draw an oval, and we can draw behind, for the neck of the shirt, we're going to draw an oval, and we can draw behind the lines of the neck because when we do the outline, we just won't include that part when we do the lining. Next we're going to do the ears, but instead of those ears, I'm going to do more like little antenna with a rectangle, then two sideways lines, then a circle. And then do the same over here, a rectangle. So it's a vertical rectangle, a horizontal rectangle, and a circle. Next we are going to do the arms. They basically create the shape of a triangle because they're symmetrical, except we're just not going to draw the bottom of the triangle. So think of it as a triangle without the bottom. And I drew it a little too wide, so I'm going to bring the arms down just a little bit and make it less wide. Okay, and then for the shirt, you're going to draw it starting at about the width of the neck of the shirt, and it's going to flare out. So it's a rectangle that kind of flares out at the bottom, kind of has a little curve outward there, like that and like that. And then for the bottom, just a little smiley face. It's going to connect those, and you're going to create that smiley face to give it the effect of roundness, because the waist, the body is a cylinder. It's not just a flat shape. It's not a flat surface. It's a rounded surface. And then for the arms, you're just going to draw a parallel to the top line. You're going to draw a bottom line. Now the top line is going to extend a little further so that when you connect them, it flattens the sleeve out a little bit. So the top line will extend a little bit past, and then you connect it. And that seemed a little narrow to me, so I'm going to make it a little bit wider. That arm seemed a little too skinny. It didn't match the other arm. Now for the hands, I'm just going to do a teardrop. So it's going to come to a point, and then it's going to be rounded at the bottom, a little teardrop shape. And then when we're lining it, we just won't include the top of the teardrop. We'll only include the bottom. And then for the little pincers, the hand, it's essentially going to be a triangle that follows the same shape of the teardrop, except we just won't draw the bottom of the triangle. Just like that. Oh, no. And then draw the circles that are the top. It's kind of the joint of his hand. Now for the leg, it's going to be an upside down triangle that just doesn't come all the way to a point. We're going to stop it just before they touch. And then we're going to draw the top of the wheel, which is, the wheel is essentially a rectangle, but to make it a little more fun and cartoony, like it's moving, we're going to squash the top by just putting it at a little bit of an angle. And then the two sides, and the bottom is flat because it's on the ground. And then the wheel is held on by two little semicircles, two half circles. Think of the left half and the right half of the same circle. And next we're going to start on the head. About halfway down, we're going to draw where it changes from glass to metal. But first we're going to erase the lines to give us some room. And the transition is just an oval. It's just an oval shape, and which is essentially a smiley face and then a frowny face. And they kind of meet at the ends. And then you just round it off a little bit at the end to make sure it doesn't come to a point. And you can draw the whole oval because we just won't draw that part when we do the outline. So we're simplifying the shapes here. We're going to draw a rectangle for the first tube, and then on the top of the rectangle we're going to draw a circle. And we're going to do that for each one. But they're not right next to each other. They're going to be, some are in front and some are behind. So the next one we're going to draw coming up from the top of the first one and then coming down beside it to give it the illusion that it's actually behind the first one. Essentially the same shape though. You can draw a rectangle with a circle at the top, and only the top half of the circle will come out of the rectangle. And you just do that 2 more times, keeping in mind that the first and the third are in front of the second and the fourth. And then you can adjust the height, like make them each a different height just to give it a little bit of variation and depth. That looks good. And see, when you simplify the shapes and you don't worry about the lines overlapping, then it makes it much easier. Now for the rivets at the top, we're going to divide this space into 4 equal parts. You do that by dividing it in half, then divide in the left half in half again, then the right half in half again. And then you have 4 even spaces that you can drop the circles into. And we're going to erase those guidelines we drew to make room for the eyes. For the eyes, they're basically ovals, but you want to turn them outward a little bit. So you want the top to be kind of tilted out, and that gives the illusion that he's smiling. Because when you smile, your cheeks come up and it kind of pushes your eyes out and your eyebrows go up. So you tilt the eyes outward a little bit just to give the expression of happiness. Then we're going to do a really big smile, starting from the left side of the eye or the right side of the eye all the way to the opposite side. And we're going to give him a bigger smile though. We're going to actually open his mouth like he's really smiling, he's really happy. And don't forget the edges of the smile, the little straight lines that come out from each side. And then for the eyes, you're going to draw a smaller oval and then a dot, and then another smaller oval and a dot inside the eye. Now we're going to do the stripes. Now think of the body and the arms as cylinders. So we drew them essentially as rectangles, but if you think about it, they're actually rounded, so the stripes won't go straight across. They will actually have a slight curve to them, like a smiley face or a frowny face. And the arm is actually this shape. So you want to draw the stripe with a little bit of a frowny face to it. And then the body is the opposite. It's actually because of the perspective, it's actually more of this shape. So this stripe will be a smiley face. Two smiley faces parallel to each other. And then the other arm again, you'll draw the downward curved lines. I think that's it. We're ready to start outlining. So if you're following along on paper, you're going to go ahead and grab your black marker, your black pen or your black pencil, and this step we're going to take very slowly. On the iPad, we're going to create a new layer. We're going to go to black, and then we're going to select the inking technical pen. I've set the streamline to 91, no stroke taper, and no pencil pressure, just a solid black line. Okay, new layer, got it. All right, now here we go. Now take it very slow because this is where you want the lines to be perfect. And you're going to want to come straight down. There we go. I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. Okay, let's do the brain parts. So remember, we're not going to show the hidden parts. We're just going to draw a line straight up there. And then this is behind, so we're going to do that one. Stop it right there. This one is in front. Then this one is behind again. And then this is hidden behind there, so we're just going to draw this part and this part. And then the smiley face that goes down in front and connects everything together. Good. And then we'll color this in because this goes down into his brain. Good. And this is fun. So in here there are these little lightning bolts. So we can have fun with that. Lightning goes in all different directions, so we can just do some really fun zigzag lines. There you go. And then we'll do the rivets. And his eyes. Good. And then his ears, or his little antenna. All right. Oh, I forgot his eyebrows. Now his eyebrows, I'm going to do a little thicker, just to give him a little bit of weight, because eyebrows are a little thicker than the rings of your eyes or your smiley face even. So just add a little extra there. Let's give him a big smile. Now the neck. Now again, we're gonna leave out this part of the oval, and because it disappears behind his neck. Then I remembered that I made the sleeve a little bigger, so I went with the top edge of that blue. And then I remember that I don't want the top of the teardrop or the bottom of the triangle. So I just do that. Do his other sleeve. Again, I don't want that part of the teardrop. I don't want the bottom of the triangle. Looks like Pac-Man, if you guys remember Pac-Man. Now we'll do the body. Kind of flares out there at the bottom. And then a smiley face. And the upside down triangle. And the rectangle with the little swervy top. And the little half circles holding the wheel on. It's coming together. And then the frowny faces for the sleeve. The smiley face for the body stripe. The frowny face for the other sleeve. And I think we've done it. All right, friends, that's going to do it for today's cute robot. If you want to learn more about Christopher Hart's Humongous Book of Cartooning, I will put a link in the description below. If you're ready to color along with us, you can check out this right here. And if you want a printable version to color along on your own, I will include a link to that in the description below as well. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for drawing along. And we'll see you next time at the Creation Station.